We've got 2 Pokemon with hats, and we've got a bunch of Pokemon in the back. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we're going to try. So we're really fighting weak on this team, so Hatterene really has to survive and do a lot of work if we run into a fighting type. We did run into a fighting type. Most teams should have one. Palmot in this case. And one thing I noticed is that we have Palmot, which could have Revival Blessing, Gardevoir, which could have Healing Wish in theory. So I don't know what they're planning on doing with that. This could also not have those moves, and it could just be a standard mixed offense plus 2 fat Pokemon that you might find on the ladder kind of team. I think I want to lead off with my Hippowdon. It has a really good matchup against the Toxtricity. Talonflame is a good option as well. I can just Stone Edge here. And if they want to go into Quagsire, that's fine. I just want to sort of feel out turn 1. They could, you know, for instance, Will-O-Wisp, but they could Taunt. And if I can get rid of their Talonflame, that would be fantastic. So turn 1, we get off a great start. I get burned on my Hippowdon. That is a bit unfortunate. I could Healing Wish it. I do have Healing Wish on my Hatterene. I don't know if I'll need to Healing Wish it, but keeping this Hippowdon around for the Palmot is quite useful. That being said, the only thing that my opponent should go into, I think at this point, is Quagsire. Quagsire doesn't get Scald anymore, so it's actually sort of not the greatest Pokemon. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do with Quagsire at the moment. As they go into Toxtricity, which is fine. This could be Specs Boomburst normal type. If that's the case, I feel like Magnezone does less, but it is still nice to keep around for Gardevoir. I could also go into my Iron Thorns, and I feel like I am going to do that just in case. Yeah, as I'll resist their Boom Burst quite well. I'm in the sand, and I can actually go for the Body Press here. So, Iron Thorns, this could have been a Dragon Dance set. I almost made this a Dragon Dance set, but instead I wanted to try out the Iron Defense Body Press. I give this max HP, max SPDF. If you look in the sand, I'm at 439 SPDF, which has some good synergy with the Hippowdon. And at this point, the only thing they can really go into is either their Quagsire, predicting me to set up, or going into Gardevoir as they go into Palmot, which takes a decent chunk off a crit, but actually a little bit less than maybe I would have liked. Okay, at this point I'm going to go Hatterene. I feel like you'll go for the fighting move over going for the electric move. If they go for the electric move, that's fine too, I don't really care. Because Hatterene doesn't really do too much while Blissey's on the field. Well, Blissey's an option at least. So we can just toss out the Hatterene. As they go for a Revival Blessing to get Talonflame back. That's an okay play too as well, I guess. But I'm not really a big fan of getting a Talonflame back. It is, I guess, nice for Brute Bonnet. Palmot probably gets Volt Switch, but would you run Volt Switch on Palmot? Maybe you would. I'm going to go into Brute Bonnet here, predicting them to want to go either into Blissey or maybe Quagsire, one of those 2 Pokemon. If they go into the Toxtricity, I'll run out of Sand. Oh wow, Ice Punch, what the heck. Okay, that works too. I will not want to go for Sucker Punch, I think that's a bad idea. So, maybe I'll go Magnezone now, because I don't think they'll go for the fighting move. They might still go for Fire Punch. Okay, so Fire Punch, Ice Punch. And I'm not sure what their last move would be, but we can kill them pretty well with the combination. Okay, Mach Punch. They have no electric move. So at this point, they only have one hit they have left. So I can go for Stealth Rock here. And they should be dead. Good, so they can't revive while blessing that. If the Talonflame is not Heavy Duty Boots, they should die as well to the Stealth Rock, although almost certainly they're Heavy Duty Boots. So here I will go for the Earthquake. They know I have the Stealth Rock, or the Stone Edge, but I guess that's fine. Then I'm going to get my Stealth Rock up again. I'm a little bit surprised they went for the Defog. I don't really know what they need it for, but we'll get the Stealth Rock up again. If they're that worried about it, they must feel like they need it. Alright, at this point, I'm going to go into the Brute Bonnet hard. In my Ice Beam, if they have it. And if they have Ice Beam, then that's a bit unfortunate. But I'd like to keep my Hippowdon healthy, at least as a sack, so I can get some sand boosts. I'm not sure if their Quagsire is the... Actually, you know, cancel that move. I'm going to go into my Hatterene. That's a better play. Let's go for Hatterene. Hatterene apparently doesn't take anything from this Quagsire. And I can go for the Nuzzle here in case they want to go Blissey. They actually go into Gardevoir. So the Gardevoir is now paralyzed. I don't know why. Well, first of all, I don't know why they're not Trace, and I don't also know why they refused to go into Blissey. Very odd. Alright, at this point I'm just going to go for Dazzling Gleam. It is my strongest move. We both get paralyzed this turn, so no harm, no foul. As they get paralyzed... Oh, we both get paralyzed again. Very interesting. Ah, Calm Mind. Okay. I can just go into my Staraptor at this point. Well, actually, no, I should sack my Magnezone, is what I should do. Safely go into Magnezone. Much safer option. If they get paralyzed again, I can kill them with a Flash Cannon. If they had gone for an attack there, going into my Staraptor, which I definitely need to kill Toxtricity, Blissey, and it even kills Talonflame, I'm pretty sure, with close combat. Don't want to just throw that away. That would be a bad play. Let me go back into Hatterene here. We saw we don't take anything from Earthquake. And I feel like I'm losing a lot of momentum by not going for Healing Wish into something. But I don't really know what else to go for here. So let's see. As they go for Earthquake again, that doesn't do very much. So if that was their option before when I stayed in, they may not be able to touch the Hippowdon. In which case I will just stay in, slack off a bit. I think that'll be good. When this Quagsire has Earthquake, it'll be very annoying for the Iron Thorns, for sure. Okay, that's fine. Here I'm actually going to go for Earthquake. They do know that Boom Burst doesn't do anything to Iron Thorns, but they actually stay in. Alright, fair enough. Okay, I'm going to go for the Iron Defense here. Because if they go into their Quagsire, or they can stay in, that works too. Alright, at this point, I will take a lot more from Boom Burst, but they're not going to kill me, and they'll die. Fine, I will take that trade. I'll take that trade. I don't understand if the Quagsire is... I'm not sure if the Quagsire is unaware or not. And in fact, at this point, I don't really feel like I need to keep the Iron Thorns, because at this point, I think Staraptor just wins. So I'm going to test and see if they are unaware or not, and they are unaware. Okay, that's fine. So we go Brute Bonnet here. And I'm going to go for the Bullet Seed. Bullet Seed is going to destroy this Pokemon. It should destroy Blissey as well. And if they go hard Talonflame, they are going to resist that. I'm going to close combat here. They could Will-O-Wisp, I guess, actually. So maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should go Hatterene. That would be the better play. There's actually Brave Bird. If I had Sucker Punch to that, that would have been really bad. For you. Okay, Dazzling Gleam. Yeah, maybe Dazzling Gleam. They go for U-turn. So it looks like they don't have Roost on this Talonflame. Very interesting. And at this point, I am going to Healing Wish. I'm going to Healing Wish the Brute Bonnet, because we can see the Talonflame doesn't have Roost. And I can Healing Wish the Brute Bonnet, yes. Yes, and then we get to go for the... I'm sort of curious how much this is going to do to Blissey. Oh, you defensive, sure, why not? The close combat is the only play that it will do a good amount. This is a speed type potentially. I think I'm actually going to go for the Spore here, because if I can get a Spore off and I get lucky with sleep turns, then I won't have to lower my defenses. I think that's the better play. Something like that. I actually go into Talonflame hard on that. So I will take that. So at this point I've won the game because they can't beat the Brute Bonnet. Alright, so game one. Both of our hats actually put in a decent chunk of work. Just gonna close combat here. Actually, Spore is better, just so they'll stay asleep. I can just close combat twice, and that'll be game. Alright. Let's find another one. Alright, game two, we've got ourselves a Kricketune. as a lead. I don't know if I can do anything about the webs getting up. Well, this is a really interesting team. I think going Hippowdon maybe to get the sand up as they lead off with Hydreigon. That's fine. I'm gonna go Iron Thorns now, I think, because I have that massive Spit F stat. I should be able to eat anything from the Hydreigon, yeah. Alright, now we have to go Hatterene here. I'd rather not let them get Sticky Web up. If they are Perish Song. Alright. I think if I could just go for Nuzzle a bunch here, that'll be really more annoying to them than anything else. And at this point, I'm going to go into my Magnezone. I do have Magnet Pull. And Magnezone doesn't really do too much. If I had Body Press, it would be really good for Bisharp. And maybe this could have Body Press, right? Maybe more of a bulky Iron Defense Body Press set could definitely work. But this works too. Okay, Hydreigon comes back out. I don't know what they want to do here. If I go back into Hatterene, I'll be immune to Draco Meteor, and they may go for that, considering I went into my... considering I went into my Iron Thorns before. Alright. Well, this is actually very interesting. So if I go Hippowdon here, I can just start going for... Well, actually, I can't go for anything. Okay. Because they are... Okay, Perish Song. Wait, no. There we go. Dark Pulse. There we go. Dark Pulse. I'm just going to go for Body Press here. That'll break their substitute. That's fine. I'll just Body Press again. Have to sack this, unfortunately. At this point, we go into the Staraptor, and we just click the... which one do you click here? You click Close Combat or you click Final Gambit? I feel like I click U-turn, if anything, because you wouldn't stay in, right? Surely you go into Gengar and save your Hydreigon, since it does so much against me. But this is a move that would not get me momentum if they decide not to make that play, right? So maybe I'll end up regretting this, and I'll have to sack something else. If they stay in, I will probably go into the Dark Pulse Flash Cannon. Yeah, they actually do stay in. Very curious. If I go into the Magnezone. Okay, Staraptor again. Close combat this time. They might have been calcing to see if they live the close combat. Let's actually do some calcs ourselves just in case. Maybe I'm missing something. Hydreigon, oh, you nasty plot. Sure, why not? Close combat actually was a roll. Final Gambit does do more. I'm just going to click Final Gambit here. It could have some level of bulk, I suppose. Okay, yeah. And the reason to go for Final Gambit is because if they do go Gengar, then I won't do anything. Alright, I'll go Brute Bonnet here. If I'd have gone that last time, then their Hydreigon would have been dead, and my guy would have been dead too. But I guess we'll take it. I guess the other thing they might have been thinking is that they would... No, they're not fast. They're never faster than Staraptor. Okay, I'm going to Bullet Seed here. Because Sludge Bomb is an option that I can carry. They may want to avoid that. I'm going to go into Hatterene again. I don't want to Sticky Web going up, so go for X-Scissor, that's okay. And now I'm going to go for the Mystical Fire. Just so that something dies, right? They go Kricketune, they die. They go Tinkaton, it'll be a problem. I think that's okay. Now in theory, if they go Hydreigon, I wonder if does Dark Pulse kill me? I am max HP, max defense, so I'm pretty bulky, but not that bulky. However, if they go into that and go for Iron Head, or Flash Cannon rather, Flash Cannon, and I Terrasilize into a Fire type, then I may kill them. Squawkabilly. Okay, about on time. As they go for the Brave Bird, now they are Guts boosted. Yes, Guts boosted. That's fine. Then just go for Stone Edge here. We go for Facade and does a lot, but Squawkabilly is not a very strong Pokemon. So I wasn't terribly concerned about it. Now, unfortunately, the Hippowdon is a bit passive in the sense that because it has Stealth Rock, Slack Off, plus dual moves, Quake Edge, or Edge Quake, it doesn't have Whirlwind or Roar, which is really unfortunate, so the Hydreigon can come back in and set up. Steel type Hydreigon is such a nasty set because you have Levitate, so the main thing I would want to hit this Pokemon with in ground type moves on this particular team at least is not really an option. As they go hard Hydreigon, yes. Okay. And so now I need to go into my Staraptor hard, I think. I just sort of have to attack this to try to break its substitute. Yeah, as we die there. Now we go to Hatterene. And we're going to Terastallize. If they go for Dark Pulse, they'll probably get us. If they go for Flash Cannon here, we get them. They don't die. But I guess that's okay. I'm going to go into Brute Bonnet here as they go for Dark Pulse. Now I'm going to Sucker Punch. They are out of range of the substitute range, so they can't go for a safe sub, and so they have to decide, am I going to Sucker Punch them or am I going to Close Combat them? I suppose they could also go into Gengar. As they go into Tinkaton, that works too. Alright, we'll just Close Combat then. See if we can get one more kill before we go out. Go out sad. Alright. Earthquake here. Oh wow, they didn't want to play safe. Okay, Stone Edge. So if I'd gone for Stone Edge there, that would have been bad for them. But we missed, so we'll all that good. Okay. So we lose there. A bit unfortunate, but Hydreigon is a problem for this team. Here's a team that is a lot less scary than the previous one. That being said, we still have a couple of threats on here that I have to respect, so we'll see how well this goes. Okay. I'm going to lead off with the Staraptor. As they lead off with Gallade, if they are Choice Scarf, they may want to attack me. So I am also Choice Scarf, and they have no Brave Bird switch-ins other than Ice Cube. Technically. They could also go Mabostiff. But yeah, if they're Choice Scarf, they may think, free damage. But no, I'm Choice Scarf. Choice Bandit is also good on Staraptor, but just looking at my team, you should know that I'm Choice Scarf because there's no other real option here. I'm gonna go hard Magnezone. I don't want to give them a speed boost, and now I can just click the Flash Cannon nice and safe. Technically, I think Thunderbolt might be the stronger play here, but I'm just going to go with the Flash Cannon instead. Alright, there's not too much to think about at this point. I'm going to go into the Hippowdon. The Hippowdon is nice because it gets the Sand chip going. And now I'm going to go hard into Iron Thorns. Iron Thorns, as we've seen before, is quite bulky in the sand and will resist the fire move. So there we go, look at that, we barely took anything. So now I want to go for the Dragon Tail, I think. Don't really have anything to hit this with. I don't have Earthquake, but you don't know that I don't have Earthquake. They may want to go into Appleton maybe. Appleton I could see coming out here, in which case Dragon Tail is an okay play. And if they stay in, they're already -2 defense, so I'm expecting this to do quite a lot. And maybe they're checking to see if Focus Blast or Aura Sphere kills or something. Probably doesn't. Look at that Spit F stat. That's a bulky boy. But at this point, I'm expecting Staraptor to just clean up at this stage. Gengar maybe Choice Scarf, but given that they had a Choice Scarf Gallade, or potentially a Choice Scarf Gallade, I don't necessarily know if this is Choice Scarf. It could be Sub Black Sludge, could be Choice Specs, could be any number of things. And of course, Appleton and Mabostiff are their bulky core, but I don't really think the bulky core should wall out what we have in the back. Hatterene actually is going to put in a lot of work once we get rid of the Gengar. So hopefully my opponent will pick a move soon so that we can move along with the game. Alright, they did go Appleton like I thought they might, and we get them out with Dragon Tail into Mabostiff. Mabosstiff is interesting because they may want to stay in. So I'm actually going to go for Body Press here. Body Press should do a decent chunk. Yeah, and they don't do anything to us. They did get a defense drop, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm going to go Brute Bonnet here. They could have the Play Rough. So we'd have to consider that. But I don't think it'll do too much damage just because Mabosstiff is pretty... it's not the strongest Pokemon. Like when you're fighting Arven in-game, it can be annoying depending on what your team composition is. So it's a good in-game Pokemon, but just in terms of overall metagame, when it gets to competitive, I think that it's not the greatest. Alright, we're going to Sucker Punch here. I don't really feel the need to keep around Brute Bonnet at this point, and if my opponent's going to go into their Psychic type on me, I'll take that. Okay. At this point, I'm going to go for Bullet Seed, just in case my opponent decides to go for Substitute or something. And I'll Sucker Punch. This Brute Bonnet's definitely done its job. As they go for Thunderbolt, I guess predicting me to predict the Shadow Ball, is that what they were going with? And maybe it was a mid-ground play against Magnezone? I'm not sure. It was a desperation play, that's for sure. Yeah. Ice Cube, very disappointing Pokemon. It's not like Mimikyu where it's a pretty scary threat, but also somewhat weak depending on the metagame. Ice Cube is just unilaterally a bad Pokemon. The fact that all special attackers bypass Ice Cube and Ice Cube is so slow definitely makes it worse than Mimikyu, and sort of shows what tools Mimikyu requires in order to operate effectively. Mimikyu also has superior typing and has dual stab as opposed to a single stab. Even if Ice Cube were water ice, at least that would be something. But yeah, like just Ice Cube is such a disappointing Pokemon. I would never use that on a team. We've used Armarouge before. I thought it was pretty good. I don't think this particular Armarouge set is the strongest. But I mean, like Life Orb, Armor Cannon in theory does do a healthy chunk to Pokemon. But if you have a Blissey, or in this case, a really bulky Undersand Iron Thorns, well, it's not going to really be that effective, I guess. And because it's Life Orb, you're taking chip on yourself, so we were able to get the Armarouge super low without having to even touch it, really. Alright. Yeah, that guy timed out, that's fine. So now we're on to this game. We've got Espatra, which is a major issue, and I wish it were banned. We got Iron Jugulus, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's pretty good in certain matchups. Sandy Shocks, I love Sandy Shocks personally, but sometimes it just messes you up as well. So we definitely want to keep around the Hippowdon. I'm Water type Hippowdon, which is actually not good in this situation. I'm Water type for the Rain matchup, but against Sandy Shocks, which can tear grass in anticipation of Hippowdon, that just becomes doubly bad. So I'm going to need to keep Brute Bonnet healthy for the Sandy Shocks, because that's my only option there. Okay. Let's, and finally, the Lomomola is going to be sort of it's going to put a crimp in my style for the Staraptor, because unless I Terrastallize, I doubt I kill it. Although if I do Terrastallize, I probably do a lot of damage to just about anything. Gonna lead off with Magnezone here. Their team is relatively slow, except for this Sandy Shocks right now. Gonna go Brute Bonnet as a result, because fortunately they got Speed Booster energy and not Special Attack. Speed, of course, is quite scary, but Special Attack Sandy Shocks is like super powerful, does way more damage. Is there actually a Stealth Rock variety, which I was not anticipating? So chalk that up to my lack of experience or whatever. We limit them to 2 hazards, but those 2 hazards are going to stay up for the battle, because I only have Magic Bounce on this team. I don't have Defog, and I was not anticipating them to be dual hazards plus Booster Energy, right? Normally I feel like if you were going to run that set, you would run more of a Focus Sash variety. But Booster Energy led me to believe that it was more of an offensive set. Anyway, after hyping up Sandy Shocks, it dies without getting off any offensive damage. Now, Brute Bonnet is very nice for this Patra, but at the same time, what do we have to switch into the Crabominable? I guess we have the Hippowdon, technically. So let's go Hippowdon. As they go for Ice Punch, that's fine. Now I will go into... Well, actually, I don't want to go into anything. I'm just going to slack off here. If they go for close combat or something predicting that, then we don't want to stay in. I will now Terrastallize and slack off. Rastalize and slacking off might be a greedy play. It sort of is, if we're being honest. But I'm gonna Stealth Rock here, because the Stealth Rock might make their Colossal want to come in, seeing as how they're sort of losing against this 1v1. But I guess it's alright. Now at this point I'll just Earthquake. We're gonna get this Crabominable a little bit lower if we can. To go into Lomomola. Do we go Brute Bonnet on you? We might want to do that. Just because... Oh, Chilling Water. Ooh. Okay, I'll go for Spore. Spore puts something to sleep. Could be Crabominable, which is somewhat annoying. Could be this, which is very annoying. Okay, so they go for Ice Beam. At this point, I'm going to go into Magnezone. Magnezone is a bit more offensive. Brute Bonnet's not going to do any damage to the Alomomola. And at this point, you don't really have an Electric Switch-In on your team, and definitely not one that wants to get paralyzed. I'm Choice Spec, so I can't go for Discharge into Volt Switch on Colossal. Slightly unfortunate, but even if I can get the Colossal paralyzed, I think I'll take it. As they actually end up sacking their Lomomola, so I will definitely take that. 100%. Okay, Crabominable. Let's do a quick calc on that. I don't actually know. Magnezone versus Crab. Crabominable is such a fun Pokemon. Let's pretend it's a Assault Vest. Then the Flash Cannon will do a lot, but this will not. At this point, do I need Brute Bonnet quite as much? Oh, not particularly. So they go for Drain Punch, that's okay. I'm going to go into my... I don't want to go Hatterene, I want to keep the Nuzzle around for Espatra. I can go into Staraptor and go for the U-turn, or just hard into my Hippowdon. That's actually probably what I should do. So I'm going to take 25% Stealth Rock, but here you should always go Colossal. I'm going to go Hippowdon, as they decide not to. Alright. So, bit of a prediction that did not play out the way I'd like it to. Imagine if I had gone for the Brave Bird there, they would have been in big trouble. I do definitely think this is a more defensive Crab, seeing as how the... what am I trying to say? Seeing as how they were willing to come in on my Specs Magnezone. But it could also be that my opponent just doesn't know what they're doing. I'm going to go into my Hatterene Heart here. Now we're going to go for Nuzzle. The reason we're going to go for Nuzzle is because if we can paralyze this, that'll be fantastic. I'm going to go for Healing Wish. Going to Hippowdon here. And then I'm going to go... We'll just go for Earthquake here. Guys, they kill me. I wonder if I die. Let's find out if we die. This will be the proof right here. I guess they could always turn into a Fairy type, so let's hope they don't. Okay, I died. Sad. So now we have to hope that they get full paralyzed. And that's what we got to bank off of here. If they get fully paralyzed, then we can still win. If they don't, then we lose to Espatra, but that's just par for the course. But yeah, that is why we saved the Hatterene, because I wanted to Nuzzle this. And so far, I don't think they've gotten a single full para. Right, so Hatterene, Nuzzle. So 1, 2, 3 turns without a para. Obviously, that's not too crazy. You can go multiple turns without para, and you can go multiple turns with para. It's just luck of the draw. The Calcan here, trying to see if they live, maybe Brave Bird. Does it really matter at this point? You're going to live it now, you're going to live it later. If you switch out now, you're going to have to set up against Colossal, or you're going to have to set up against my Magnezone anyway. I don't really see the point of calking here. You definitely outspeed. As apparently they don't outspeed. That is a bit surprising. Alright, and now we Flash Cannon here. I think Flash Cannon is the best play. Actually, I guess Discharge is just as powerful. Okay, they win. Alright, so we lose to Espatra, that's fine. Well, I mean, it's not fine, it's unfortunate. But it's to be expected, it's a very strong Pokemon. And it would have just required a bit of luck on our part. Okay. Palmot and the bird and Arbolova. We saw Arbolova on the channel last time. But I think they don't really like Staraptor on this team, that's for sure. Looking at the team right off the bat, they're very flying type weak. Here they may go for the fake out. But I'm just going to click Brave Bird because they have no Brave Bird switch-ins, like I said. Now Staraptor can afford to burn through some HP because I do have the Healing Wish. I always hear people talk about like, oh, I got Healing Wish, it's fine. But then they never actually use Healing Wish, which is sort of funny. I'm gonna go Magnezone, actually. And then at this point, I can go for the Flash Cannon. Because they could have... Whoa, Nelly, that did a lot of damage. That was crit. Dang. Okay, they could go into Palmot, which could have Volt Absorb. Probably does not. Probably has Iron Fist, but you never know. At this point, I want to go into my Hippowdon to get up Stealth Rock. Just getting up Stealth Rock, I think, seems to like make a lot of sense. And they're probably... Well, I don't know, actually. What does the Solfest Teriyama take? It just seems crazy to me that they took that much damage, but on a crit, I guess they do that much. So this is probably a Solfest, almost certainly. At this point, I'll just go for some Earthquake. They're not going to take that much, and I can slack off here to try to get some health back. Seeing this damage, they take 20% from Drain, or they do 20% with Drain Punch. Because they're recovering health, they will end up living, but we can get them down to a reasonable... I can get up to full and then knock them out. And then after that, you have Frostmoth. Frostmoth, I can actually stay in against... this. Bombardier. What are you going to do? You could defog. I think you get defog. I'm pretty sure you do. You've already knocked me off. They're a nasty plot Bombardier. I was not expecting that. Ladies and gentlemen, was not expecting that. Bombardier, what do you get? I don't know. And I suppose they're just trying to capitalize on that. I mean, Dark Pulse was obviously going to be an option there, but why nasty plot? I mean, I guess it's something to do with Bombardier. Just really, nah, I don't like that. Bombardier is such a weak Pokemon overall. It actually took the Stone Edge okay, but I'm also 0 attack, so I mean, you better take the Stone Edge okay. Alright. If the Frostmoth comes out, I can actually Terra Water to take the Ice Beam. And Terra Water actually does fantastic against everything except for the Palmot. So I have to consider, am I worried about the Palmot? I don't want to Terra Water yet, just if I have to. So last time I went into Magnezone on this, right? This time I'm gonna go into my Hatterene, I think. As they go for Ice Scroll Crash, that's fine either way. And I'll just go for the Mystical Fire. Mystical Fire, just in case they go into Frostmoth. Should do a good chunk to the Weavile. And it may kill Hariyama. It may not. I actually don't know if it'll kill Hariyama. It doesn't kill Hariyama. Wow. Okay, we go Hippowdon here again. You've already seen Hippowdon does nothing. And they died a Heavy Slam because of the sand, and they didn't Drain Punch that turn. I mean, I guess it makes sense they wouldn't Drain Punch that turn. But... okay, at this point, if I Terra Water and I Earthquake, how much does Weavile take? Weavile. Now let's just say the Sword Stance, why not? Against the Hippowdon. Earthquake does 60%. So yeah, I'll Terra Water and Earthquake. And then they die. Now this has opened up the Palmot, so maybe I'll regret that, for sure. At this point, I'm going to stay in an Earthquake again as a Wild Charge. They're not running the double shock with the Terra. That's a little bit sad. So at this point, I will go into Staraptor and just click the Brave Bird. I don't actually know if I'll die to this. Arbolova probably has a lot more health than Palmot. But there's sand up as well, so I have to consider that. There's a Mach Punch. Okay, yeah, so I'll definitely die now. So now, I'd have to figure out what is the best endgame. Frostmoth. I have to consider the Frost Moth can still Terra, right? Because I don't think they terrestrialized anything yet on their team. And Frost Moth probably runs coverage over anything else. The Powdon is gone and Strapper's gone, yeah. So Brute Bonnet does not kill with Bullet Seed. Yeah, that's fairly obvious. Iron Thorns cannot go for the Dragon Tail, but a +2 defense. Body Press still does not kill. The Hatterene could go for Nuzzle, and then it could Heal English. That might be a good option. Okay, so they are heavy duty boots. That's good to see. I'm hoping that the threat of Mystical Fire, which I have shown, will convince them to terrestrialize into whatever they have. This, for instance, could be Terra Water. If it is Terra Water, then that would be good to know, so that I can just go into Brute Bonnet, right, or whatever. Or Magnezone would probably be best option. If they are Terra Flying, which is another option for like Hurricane, I don't know if I like that option, but if they're Terra Flying, then I also have Magnezone. Terra Ground could be interesting as a typing. Okay, Terra Fire also works. Okay, so now we Heal English. Terra Fire, 251, does outspeed if they are modest. And, what do we go for here in the end game? Let's go into Iron Thorns, I think. I'm just going to click the Thunder Punch. Yeah, Thunder Punch, which is the strongest move I have for this. Now, they could also get paralyzed. I am specially defensive, but we don't have the Sand Up anymore. So maybe if I'd known that this wasn't going to be able to touch Iron Thorns with its Terra type, then I could have gone hard into it. That would have been an option. But I think this is fine. So now they have to hope that they kill me with +3 Ice Beam or Bug Buzz. Bug Buzz is their best bet, I think. And they have to hope they don't get paralyzed for the rest of the game, as they have Ice Beam, and that does not kill. Alright, so we get out against the Frost Moth end game. It got a little bit scary there at the end. Let's see if we can get one more game, or at least one more win. Alright, so this team definitely has a few weaknesses. A little bit slow, so it has a hard time dealing with endgame sweepers. But at the same time, I think a lot of Pokemon in the U tier are having trouble with endgame sweepers. Okay. They've got the Toedscruel, which is a problem for a lot of this team. I don't want to throw out my Staraptor right out the gate. I don't actually know how good Staraptor will be in this game with Quagsire, Tinkaton, and even potentially Intimidate. Intimidate Salamence, 328 versus 328, I believe, right? Yeah, so Salamence, Staraptor would be a speed tie if they Dragon Dance up once. So that'll be exciting. I'm going to lead off with the Magnezone, maybe? Or I could lead off with the Brute Bonnet. I actually think I want to lead off with that. Let's lead off with Armarouge. I doubt that I kill them in one hit with the Sucker Punch. Yeah, there's no way I kill them in one hit. That's okay. Iron Thorns time. As they go for that. That's fine. And now I will go into the Powdon in case they have Focus Blast or Aura Sphere. I don't have the Spit F boost yet, so we can see that takes a lot. But it also might be Choice Specs. I'm going to get up the Stealth Rock here. Quagsire can do whatever it wants. I don't think it gets... It might actually get Toxic at the moment, if I recall. Quagsire does. So we'll have to see what goes on here. As they go into Toedscruel for the Rapid Spin, that's fine by me. I'm going to go into Brute Bonnet. They cannot Spore the Brute Bonnet because I'm a Grass type. As they just go for the Rapid Spin, that's fine. And I'm going to go for the Bullet Seed. I don't want to Spore in case they decide to stay in and go for... I don't know what they would go for. But just in case, you know, you never know. Spore would be really good for the Salamence, but yeah, see, they go for Knock Off there. And I only get 2 hits because they do knock off my loaded dice. But unfortunate. But at this point, I think I should go for the Spore, because that's the only other thing they might want to go for. They're probably Earth Power. Yeah, there we go. Salamence comes out. And now I'm gonna go into my Magnezone. They may want to go Tinkaton, just because that also has a good matchup against the Brute Bonnet, as they go Armarouge. Okay. Let's go ahead Powdon here first. The Powdon will take a lot from Specs fire move. Like a heck ton. Yeah, like that much. But I can now go Iron Thorns again, and I will take half the amount of damage I took last time. So this Specs Armarouge is doing a lot of work. Okay, yep. Definitely pressuring me. Last time they went into Quagsire. Yeah, they did. I'm gonna go into Brute Bonnet here as they go into Quagsire, as expected. Now they can go into their Tinkaton, or into their Salamence, or maybe back into their Armarouge. So let's go into Staraptor, a bit more of an offensive option, so I can get some momentum on my side. If they go into their Toedscruel or their Armarouge, it'll be really effective, and I doubt they'll stay in against the Brute Bonnet, because it seems like my opponent does make these safe plays. Okay. Here I'm just going to U-turn. I don't think I want to stay in against Tinkaton. That probably is not a good idea. And if they decide to go for a Gigaton or a Stealth Rock, I could always go into my Magnezone and get out pretty well. Getting rid of Tinkaton is nice. Getting rid of Tinkaton isn't necessarily paramount, so I don't know if I want to Terastallize into my fire typing. But I think this is an okay option. Okay, there we go. So at this point, what will they go for? Knockoff maybe? Not really sure. If I Terastallize into a fire type and they outspeed and kill me with knockoff, then I'm gonna feel really dumb. So Magnezone against Tinkaton. I'm surprised they're an offensive set. I feel like a more defensive set, but that also explains why they wouldn't have gone out into it. So they can easily outspeed me. In fact, they just naturally do. So at +2 knockoff, probably kills, right? Knockoff at +2. No, it doesn't kill. And then if I am not Choice Specs, Chipped Pot, sure, why not? And I go for the fire type Terra Blast. What would that be? Like Lava Plume or something? Oh, actually, no, I can just go with this. Yeah, fire. Fire type. Terra Blast. And if I make myself a fire type, like so, then that could kill. Let's go for it. And then we'll see why that was a bad idea. Well, they went for the normal Terra Blast. Interesting. Okay. So this actually lets me take on the Armarouge a bit better. They can always go for their Psychic move now, I suppose. Not, I guess they still have to worry about Brute Bonnet, but they could go for a Psychic move. But this does give me a fire type to have some form of resist. I do have to worry about Toedscruel. And I guess to some extent Iron Thorns. But that was always going to be the case. Especially if they're Jolly and they have Dragon Dance up, I really don't have too much for it. Alright. Let's see what the response to this is. Yeah, Quagsire, that's a pretty safe response. Okay. Let's go into Hatterene, maybe? Yeah, let's go Hatterene. As they go for the Body Press of all moves. Very interesting. Very interesting. Alright. I'm gonna go for the Mystical Fire. Mystical Fire will lower the special attack for Quagsire if it decides to stay in. It'll lower the special attack of Armarouge, except for it won't. So let's go for the Nuzzle. Actually, no, let's sack a Powdon. The Powdon has outlived its usefulness. As they go for Armor Cannon again, they're down to 4 of those, so we've used half of them up. And now I will go into the... I'm gonna go Brute Bonnet, man. Like, if they're foolish enough to stay in on the Brute Bonnet, then that'd be great. But they don't really have anything that wants to switch in on the Brute Bonnet except for Salamence, which is asleep, which would give me some form of a momentum. I guess they could always Terrasilize into a fire type or into a grass type. That would work too. Okay, so now they've gotten rid of that, which makes their Quagsire a lot more of a problem. But now we can safely U-turn, and I won't have to go for Brave Bird. We can keep some HP on the Staraptor. Yeah. So I'm a little bit regretting not going for Nuzzle the previous time, but I think this should still be okay. They are guaranteed to stay asleep. So at this point, I'm going to go back into Hatterene, and I will just go for the Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam will do a lot of damage to this, of course, and it will kill the Armarouge, I'm pretty sure. Go Toedscruel. Now they don't have anything for the... I don't have anything for the, whatchamacallit, the Spore, right? I could always Healing Wish here. I'll just Mystical Fire. They can put me to sleep. That's fine. Let's actually go for the knockoff. Wow. I am surprised they went for that move. I'll Dazzling Gleam again just in case they decide to go back into Armarouge. I think that's better. Yeah, I'm really surprised they went for the knockoff there, because Spore was so free for them, right? I have no Brute Bonnet. That was the only thing stopping you from going for Spore. But sure, whatever, man. So I get a crit. A bit fortunate because now I can just go for Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam definitely required that crit to kill, so I got a bit lucky there. But at this point, they can't threaten Spore on me anymore. And they can't Rapid Spin, but I sacked my Rocker, so there you go. Alright, I'm going to Nuzzle here. Oh wait, no. Don't do that. I'm going to Healing Wish. That's what I'm going to do. Because I just want to get out of there. Okay. Now I'm going to Staraptor. Now the question is, what does Iron Thorns HP look like? Just look at my customs. Well, no, my custom set is wrong. Because you're offensive Iron Thorns, right? So you would not have investment in your HP, probably. So 311 does not kill, unfortunately. I need to U-turn first, as they actually sack. Or they're going to sack their Salamence. Interesting. All right. So I'm going to go for the Flash Cannon now, as the Salamence dies. Okay, that's fine. At this point, they can't really go into the Iron Thorns. They've lost their booster energy as well. I don't know how much that matters, to be honest. Go Quagsire. How much does Quagsire take from Specs Flash Cannon? That's probably a calc I should know. But I don't play this game altogether that often. To the point where I know every single calc, even if it's one that could be common. Okay, Terra Blast, Fire. Well, why would that do more damage than Flash Cannon? Because it's, because it's showing up as normal. Right. Okay, well, this doesn't do that much. Let's see now how much the Staraptor does. Staraptor with Brave Bird only does 45%. So, Flash Cannon it is. As they go for Toxic. Very interesting. By very interesting, by that I mean, this is a pain in the rear. Okay, let's go into Staraptor, and we will just click a whole bunch of Brave Bird. See if we can get a 2-hit KO on it. Looks like it's just barely a 2-hit KO. They can go into Iron Thorns, but that'll leave the Quagsire weakened. As they do, I think that's a fair option, fair play to make. I'm gonna go into my own Iron Thorns. I can always threaten them with Body Press. So they'll Dragon Dance here for sure. I think that's fairly obvious that that's gonna happen. But I can Body Press here, so they should only be able to get one? I guess maybe they could get two, because it's not gonna kill, right? But they also don't know what I have. So now we go Staraptor, and we look at the close combat damage. Close combat does 25 to 29, so I think this should kill. I didn't kill that. Okay. And then we're just gonna die here. Unless they go for Stone Edge and miss. But I don't think that's going to happen. So let's find another game. Alright. Another game with the Sticky Web. I think I'm going to lead off with the Staraptor. They also have a Staraptor on their team. Actually go for Thunder Punch, and they don't end up killing. That's sort of funny, but then they can just come with armor, so that's fine. Okay. So they go with that. I'm just going to go for the Brave Bird. If they are Choice Scarfed, then that's a problem. If they're not, then that's fine. Alright, fine. Fine by me. Got rid of Gengar. Yeah. So I guess they must have been like Choice Specs or something. They weren't Focus Sash, which is the other thing they could have been. Alright, we go Hatterene always. Don't matter if they predict that or not. And at this point, Nuzzle. Nuzzle is the best play. Go for U-turn. They could go into their Arcanine, or they could go into Colossal. If they go Staraptor, that's fantastic. Like, I will take that 100%. Oh, good. Good. Yeah, Nuzzle Hatterene is one of my favorite sets, just because I don't really like committing too hard to Trick Room usually. And Nuzzle is just such a fantastic option. Whereas Calm Mind takes a while, and you're really committing to having Calm Mind, Draining Kiss as your only viable thing to do, which in a lot of situations just isn't as useful. Okay. We do have Magnezone for the Bronzong, which is nice. We can trap that. The Rotom Wash really means that the Staraptor is going to have a hard day. So I think I want to lead off with my Brute Bonnet, probably. As they lead off with Heracross. Wow. If I'd led off with Staraptor, they were in not a good spot. Okay. Gonna go into Hippowdon here. We are max Fizz Def. As they go for Trailblaze and do absolutely no type of damage. Go for Stealth Rock here. And, sure. Trailblaze does a decent chunk. I'm gonna slack off, maybe. Man, I wish I had Whirlwind on this set. Alright. So... Hatterene, maybe? Just quick Dazzling Gleam. The Earthquake. Very interesting, very interesting. Okay. The Staraptor. They're very fast. Okay. Okay, yeah, so that was a quick 6-0 lead matchup. I should have if I'd let off Staraptor, they couldn't have done that, right? But I saw the Rotom Wash and I saw the bunch of other Pokemon. I didn't want to take Chip at the beginning. Alright, Knuckle Stack. That's interesting. I saw people talking about that, but I don't know what it does, and I don't really know if I should care. We are facing rain though, so Hippowdon. We'll see if the Terra Water does anything for us. I'm gonna lead off with the... Lead off with the Magnezone. Magnezone leads on well into everything here. And they're actually trapped here, so I will definitely take that. Because they're trapped, I'm just gonna discharge. I think that's fine. We can see that actually is a 2 KO. Actually, no, it's not, because I got a crit, and they knocked off my Choice Specs. So they may get Stealth Rock up here or something. But since they are trapped, they cannot... Oh wow, I double crit them, so they don't even get Stealth Rock up or anything. That's hilarious. Okay, so the Magnezone has done its work. They'll probably go into Pelipper, then into Kilowattrel here, I think will be the play. It could be fast Pelipper, technically speaking. If it's a bulky Pelipper, they would have to hard switch. So I'm gonna go into my Iron Thorns, yeah. And then I'm gonna go into Hippowdon here. Hippowdon means that if they go for Weather Ball, it will not be water anymore. And they go into Knuckle Stack. Alright. So let's go into the Magnezone here. I don't think you Earthquake. Do Sulk here. That's a little bit annoying, not gonna lie. As I'll just Flash Cannon. They can switch in with their Kilowattrel, but Okay, so they see what I'm going to go for there. Let's just Volt Switch. As they do go Pelipper. Wow. Okay. So now they've lost the Weather War. They forgot maybe that I was not Choice Specs anymore because they knocked me off. Or maybe they just thought I was hard committing to the Flash Cannon. I'm not really sure. Okay. At this point, I think I actually want to Terrastalize Water because they can always go into Kilowattrel. But now that they've lost the Weather War, I can just go safely into Iron Thorns on that. I'm going to go to my Stealth Rock here. Yeah, I should go for Surf and there's nothing. I'm going to go for Stone Edge. They may be enticed to go into Kilowattrel given that I've turned myself into something that they are now going to be super effective against. But they actually are not. They're going to go for Yawn. That's fine. That's fine by me. As they go into Knuckle Stack again. I think I'm going to go into my Magnezone again. Magnezone has done its job for the most part. I don't think I need it for the Vaporeon because I have Hippowdon. I think I can stall it out. And if they go for Salt Cure, now I get a free switch into something, right? Okay. So what are we going to go into? We're going to go into Iron Thorns. And I'm going to Iron Defense up. I don't know what you'd go into here, but you might go into Barraskewda. I see they're Fairy type. Very interesting. So actually my Magnezone would have been quite useful. Okay. Let's go into Staraptor here. And I'm just going to go for the final Gambit. Hopefully they go for the Salt Cure again and not Protect. If they go for Protect, that'll be a little bit sad. Okay, good final Gambit. And now they should hopefully die to something. Question is, what are they going to die to? Alright, well, we know that they're not as fast as 180. But they're definitely faster than Hatterene. They cannot be put to sleep because they have Purifying Salt. Okay. Yeah, interesting. So the question though is, what is their last move? Is it so Salt Cure, Protect, Iron Defense, is it Recover? And then they just want to stall you out? That might be the case. In which case, Hippowdon would be the best bet. Because I can stall them out as well. Right. I'm going to go for Earthquake. That's not going to do anything. Yeah, so this is just the Salt Cure, Protect, Iron Defense, Recover set. Yes. As I thought. Alright. So let's just go for the Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock. I'm just going to try to stall off this Knuckle Stack. Now they have Salt Cure. It's going to be a little bit annoying, not going to lie. So this is what the Knuckle Stack does, huh? Okay. Let's go into Brute Bonnet maybe. Try to stall it out at all. Of anything and everything. If I had a couple of Regenerator Pokemon, this would be a lot easier. So it's definitely nice to have a Dark type Brute Bonnet and to have a whatchamacallit. And to have Sucker Punch. Yeah, some form of priority. It's definitely nice to have that. But what is not nice is having to deal with not having Regenerator. Okay. Let's go into the Hippowdon again. We're just trying to stall this out. There's the go for Protect. So now I will go for the Stealth Rock again, because we're just wasting PP. We'll recover here. They are going to take Chip of their own from the sand now that they have Terastalized, so we do have to take note of that. Yeah, if I didn't know that they were Fairy type, I definitely would not have sacked Magnezone, but I was not thinking about that as an option. Okay, go Brute Bonnet here, as they may Protect, as they go for Salt Cure again. I'm going to Iron Thorns. Basically, we're just trying to force them to switch. They're down to about 14 left. Yes, they're almost down to half of their Valkyries left. Unfortunately, with Dragon Tail, which means I can't phase this out. But in some ways, I'm almost okay with that. I'm gonna go for the Thunder Punch here. Not that it does anything really. Okay. Hippowdon again, just in case they go for Protect. They do go for Salt Cure. Got a Slack off. Now we have to ask ourselves, what do I need in the back? I need to keep around Iron Thorns because I need it for the Kilowatt Roll, so I probably shouldn't go back into that. That would be reckless. And I need to go... I need to keep around Hippowdon because it's useful for the Barraskewda. So Brute Bonnet's nice for Vaporeon, but I feel like Vaporeon would be a bit more offensively oriented. Not really sure about that. Okay, let's go into Brute Bonnet now. Go for Salt Cure again, and that dies. Okay. So Hippowdon. And go for Stealth Rock again, just waste some PP. Go for Slack off. Actually, I gotta switch, because I need to start getting... I guess I don't really need to get chip on them, but it is sort of nice at the same time. But I guess we're wasting all the PP that it can have. I'm surprised that they're not going for more Iron Defense. I feel like that's what they should be doing, personally. Because if I'm Salt Cured, you should never need to go for a second Salt Cure. That's my philosophy on that. They haven't gone for many Protects, they haven't gone for many Iron Defenses, and they're going for subsequent Salt Cures. So my Hippowdon is quite low, but yeah, they keep on going for Salt Cure. When they shouldn't, I think. They're keeping themselves nice and healthy, which is smart. Stay out of range of a crit. Okay, there we go. Now my opponent's starting to think critically. See how much that does. Not very much. 23%. Not enough to do anything. Down to 5 Salt Cures. Okay. We'll go for Stealth Rock here. I think the correct play. Go for Stealth Rock again. We're just basically forcing them to use the rest of their Salt Cures. Okay, now I'll go into Hatterene. Looks like my opponent has figured out the rules of the game. Down to 4. Okay, Salt Cure there. Now we go into Hippowdon. If they double Salt Cure here, I'm wondering if I have enough HP left. 30%. Okay, good. Now that they've sort of figured out that, oh no, I need to keep my Salt Cures around, they might not be as willing to make a double Salt Cure play. So now we're back up to 50%, and that should be just fine. Bit of a stally endgame here, but I think it's one we have to go for. Okay, Dazzling Gleam again. Go for Salt Cure again, one last time. Now we go into Hippowdon. And once we go into Hippowdon, then we should be okay to go, I think. I don't want to go for Slack off yet. Okay, good. There's the last Salt Cure. So I can go Hatterene here. And then we'll go back into Hippowdon, because we want to let them struggle themselves to death, I think, is what we want. There are the recovers too, which I think was a bit short-sighted on their part. It doesn't really matter how many Iron Defenses they have up. Okay, yep, there we go. I'm gonna go into the Hatterene first, because I'm anticipating them to go for Yawn. I actually switched out, which I don't know how I feel about that. Did go Hatterene. I'm gonna go for Shadow Ball. Oh. Okay. Well, we have this now. So I'm gonna go for the Iron Defense first. Now I'm gonna go for the Body Press. I might actually just end up losing to Vaporeon anyway. Okay. I will now go for the I'll go for body press again, I think. They could sack the knuckle stack, but if they don't, I am asleep. That is a bit of an issue, I will admit. Go Barraskewda though, which is interesting. Close combat, no liquidation. And but they are life orb, not choice band. If they were choice band, I guess I was KO'd by liquidation anyway. So a bit unfortunate. I have psychic fangs, and that'll be it. Alright, and so they still had enough pieces in the end to win that game. Whew. Well, I wonder if I should cut that one out just because that was so long. But I guess it does show the power of Knuckle Stack. Doing the same thing Garganackle does in OU. In the beginning, they were all using the Iron Defense Body Press set, and that was really good, but actually the Salt Cure Protect set is also quite annoying in its own way. Okay, here's a more standard team. I can get behind this one. Let's go for Staraptor as the lead. Surprised to be seeing so many Talonflames today on the ladder. Wonder what your lead would be. They lead off with Rotom Wash. I will be faster than them no matter what, so I'll go for U-turn. They could be Rocky Helmet on this. They could have Flame Body on Talonflame. At the end of the day, this is one of the risks one has to run when being a physical attacker. But we do have Healing Wish on the Hatterene, so at the end of the day, we can get away with this kind of stuff to some extent. Alright, I'm going to go Brute Bonnet because I don't want to get Hydro Pumped. Thunderwave is also fine. Means I can't get burned, if anything. So let's go for Spore now, as they go Talonflame, and I get paralyzed. Yeah, that seems about right. Okay, they may actually go for Will-O-Wisp, predicting the Hippowdon. If they don't, they go for U-turn, that's fine by me too. They'll probably go back into their... Oh, they don't actually. Into their Wash, no. Instead, they go into Donphan. Donphan is a bit of an issue for my team, not gonna lie. Okay. Let's go into Brute Bonnet. I don't want to lose my leftovers if I can help it. So just go for Rapid Spin, which is a bit of a weird play, but I can take it. Go for Spore again. They got Body Press on this Donphan. Curious. Well, now I can't Spore the Talonflame, which is okay, because I got the Donphan asleep, and as we saw, Donphan is a bit of an issue for this team. So if they're Body Press, I'm guessing that they're max Fizz Def on this set, which is actually sort of an even bigger problem. But at the same time, if they just let me hit it with a bunch of Bullet Seeds, then that's okay too. Okay. At this point though, because this is so low, I can go Staraptor here and just click Brave Bird. This is Reckless boosted. Ice Shard Chip, that's fine by me. I will take that as a toll. Get rid of a potentially huge threat to my team. Okay. Now I've lost my Brute Bonnet. I sort of struggle against the Rotom Wash. They could Hydro Pump here, but I thought they might Volt Switch. Okay, Krookodile comes out as they go for Intimidate. And I will go into, on this, I will go into Hippowdon. They go for Close Combat. Very interesting play. We'll just go for Stealth Rock now. They don't have anything good for this. I think they could have Taunt. Stone Edge on Talonflame. If they decide to defog, hopefully they'll have a dead Talonflame for their trouble. I don't really think they need to get rid of the rocks. It's a little bit annoying for Slitherwing, but they're also not really using their Slitherwing very well. They don't really have anything that wants to switch in on Stone Edge anyway. The Hippowdon is actually a huge problem for my opponent. So I'll take that. They have Rotom Wash, but it is getting sort of low, and Rotom does not get Pain Split. Getting the sand, getting the rocks, doing their work. I'll definitely take that. Okay, so you can Hydro Pump here pretty freely. I'm gonna go into Iron Thorns. I want to see how much this takes. As it takes a decent chunk. I'm just gonna Thunder Punch now. Thunder Punch will hopefully kill the Rotom Wash, and I think that's what we want to win the game. And I'll just go and sack my... Well, actually, why would I do that? Let's Well, what don't I need? I don't need my Magnet Zone. That's what I don't need. We'll just discharge, sack this here. That's the smart play. because it loses to the Crocodile, it loses to the Slitherwing, and it loses to Salamence. So now I can go Staraptor here, and I can just click the Brave Bird or the U-turn or anything I want, really. I think I'm going to click the U-turn simply because I clicked Brave Bird. I guess I could go Crocodile. Maybe I should have actually clicked Brave Bird, man. Well, I'm thinking. But really, Hippowdon is what I want to be in with against most of these Pokemon. I don't know how the Salamence matchup plays out, to be honest. But fortunately, they spare me the trouble of wondering which one is better by going hard into Crocodile. Interesting. I still want to keep the Hatterene around for the Salamence, but in theory, any of these will do. Just Earthquake here. Yeah. Actually, I think I'm going to make the crazy play and go Staraptor here. If they are choiced in some way, then this could be fantastic, right? Now I can click Brave Bird, and that dies. If they go into their Slitherwing, we're going to switch out because we don't want to lose the first impression. So now we go into Hippowdon here. And Hippowdon will take Banded First Impression probably pretty poorly. But it is what it is. I don't need the Sand anymore because their special attackers are all gone. As that was a strong hit. Okay. I'm going to go into my Hatterene here because they're probably banded. And I can go for the Dazzling Gleam. I think that's better over Nuzzle as they are ground type anyway. So it turns out that was the correct series there. Because if I'd gone for Nuzzle, they would have been immune. All right, there we go. So I take a couple bad losses and lose a lot of points, but we're still struggling around the 11 to 1200s. But I don't play this very often, and this was just a team I threw together. I think it's not too bad. It's definitely not great, but I wanted to use Double Hat, right? Use Double Hat, and I also wanted to try out Iron Thorns. I don't know how I feel about this set. It's definitely not as scary offensively as the Dragon Dance one was, for sure. But in terms of switching into Armor Rouge, switching into so many special attacks, it's actually not too bad under Sand. And it definitely gives Sand something to do in UU. So maybe consider that. Staraptor, of course, is a fantastic Pokemon in Magnet Zone. Got to trap a few Pokemon, so I think that sort of shows that it has a place. Maybe not on this particular team. Maybe something else would be better in its slot. A good fighting resist for one. And maybe something to help with the ground type problem. But yeah, definitely got some wins that I'm pretty pleased with. So that'll be it for me today. I'll catch you guys next time.